Hey guys, it is literally 1:40 a.m. as I'm recording this, so I'm here to bring you some, well, good news for some people, but absolutely devastating news for other people. There's been a new statement by the WCA as of June 25th of 2026, and let me read it to you. After careful consideration, the WCA board has decided to add face turning octahedron or FTO to the WCA's list of official events and remove clock. FTO will be available for inclusion in WCA competitions from January 2nd, 2027. Clock will no longer be available following the WCA World Championships of 2027, which will be the last competition to hold the event. The WCA will continue to explore options for how other events are managed, particularly at championship competitions. So yeah, it's official. Clock is gone. You know, people ever since like way before COVID have been making jokes and making fun of clock, saying, "Oh, it's such a stupid event. You know, it should be removed from the WCA." Well, for all those people wishing it 5 years ago, well, I guess your wish is granted now. You know, obviously, I feel bad for the people whose main event is clock, but it's kind of your fault for practicing clock. It's a joke. That's a joke. That's a joke. That's a J-O-K. That's a joke. But wait, there's a second part to this post. At the same time, we prepare to say goodbye to clock. Although clock has been significant interest in recent years and continues to be a relatively problematic event, as frequently highlighted by the WCA volunteers and community members. Despite multiple changes to the WCA regulations, clock remains highly prone to incidents. Running clock at competitions can be challenging, as it is difficult to scramble correctly and requires the use of different procedures or equipment from other speed-solving events. Determining whether a clock is solved and seeing a competitor progress through a solve are not easily visible at a distance and substantially reduce the spectator appeal of the event, particularly to non-specialist audiences. These issues stem from the fundamental differences between clock and the puzzles used for other events. Clock is highly dissimilar from these puzzles, and clock existing recognition by the WCA arises from historical factors. Removing clock strengthens the WCA identity as being an organization for three-dimensional geometrical twisty puzzles, and not other mechanical puzzles. So after reading all of their reasons, I guess I can kind of understand where they're coming from. Clock, if you try to compare it to literally every other thing in the WCA, it's not really a twisty puzzle. Like, what exactly are you twisting here? There's no face for you there's nothing. And it's also, I never really realized this, but yeah, this isn't even three-dimensional, it's two-dimensional. You solve one face, you flip, and then there's the other face. I never really thought of that. You also don't really need algorithms to solve it. You just learn a method to do it intuitively, and then memorize some moves, and then that's it. In fact, this is literally the only event in the WCA that doesn't require you to learn any algs. All it is just practicing your turning and then making sure your turning is as accurate as possible. And you know what that's similar to? That's right, magic. And that's also another removed event. The other reasons the WCA state is completely reasonable as well is, it is very hard to run in a competition because not everyone understands clock notation. And also the fact that there's no +2 in clock. Yeah, it's either you solve it or you DNF. That's it. And also running it is very hard because, way before we even had the regulation where the pins can move in inspection, it doesn't matter. There were so many DNFs and extras because, if you drop the clock, the pins will all go to each other and then boom, extra or DNF. So yeah, it's just all complete mess. And also, the spectator friendliness, because, you can't really tell if a clock is solved or not, because most clocks are solved like this. And yeah, you can't really tell what's going on, can you? Now, even after all those reasons, is it still a good decision? Honestly, not in my opinion. Like, I guess, yeah, all those reasons make sense. But at the end of the day, I don't really understand what advantage this brings to the WCA by removing it, but that's just my opinion. I feel like we could add more events to the WCA, but at the same time, we could also keep the remaining events that we have. But well, it is what it is. We just gotta accept the decision, and it's kind of funny how they made this decision right after MoU decided to release their clock. Um, I don't know. It's just really funny to me. But the main elephant in the room is that FTO is now an event. Woohoo! I guess. I can understand. I mean, it's been coming for ages now. If you've been following cubing, you probably would know that it's now that people have been interested in this for like 3 years now. So well, yeah, it's pretty cool. I guess I got to start practice like this again because I haven't really touched this in like a year or so. My goal now is to be the first ever NR holder for this. Yeah, that's my goal now for 2027. Now, what I'm concerned now is where the direction of the WCA is actually heading, because if you've been following the WCA for the past few years, we've actually removed more events than we've actually had added. Because, we removed feet and now we removed clock. And what have we added so far? Absolutely nothing. Why I'm actually worried about that is because this final paragraph right here in the same statement. No formal changes to other events are being made at this time. At this time. So they might change their mind in like a few months' time. Although the WCA will continue to explore options for how events are managed, especially considering the impact on championship competitions. High degrees of similarity between 6x6 cube and 7x7 cube Come on, man. You can't remove 6x6 and 7x7, bro. Like, come on now. Like, come on. Come on. I'm not just saying that because I'm the NR holder for it in my country, but like, I'm being serious. Like, just don't, man. Just there's no point, man. Between 4x4 blindfolded and 5x5 blindfolded point to these events as potentially subject to future changes. Okay, you know what? Just remove every event. Remove everything. Remove 3x3. Remove everything. We don't need events anymore. Let's just all quit queuing. There's no point in joining competitions anymore. We're just gonna remove every single event that people have spent years practicing. There's no point in getting good at anything anymore. But, yeah, that's the end of the video. W say, please don't remove 7x7. That's all I ask for. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna be practicing FTO. Bye bye.